All right, ladies, week 3, we are talking about first aid and altitude sickness. Wanted to touch on a few important things. Be sure that each of you is bringing your own personal first aid kit. You can see the list of things that we suggest to include in your kit. The reason for this is that your guide will have a first aid kit for the group. But if everyone's pulling from that kit, it's going to get depleted very fast. And so we want you to be prepared with things for small emergencies like blister prevention, or if you know you have allergies, we want you to bring your own antihistamines, things like that. Make sure you're reading all those resources, watching those videos, and then make a list of things that you would like to put in your own first aid kit. All right, another thing I want to touch on is altitude sickness. And I get a lot of questions around altitude sickness. We have many ladies who are coming from sea level or just a little above. So this is obviously a concern for a lot of women that join our trips. I don't want anybody to be hyper focused on this. Altitude sickness typically is pretty mild. We are not going to be going above 12,000 feet on any of our trips. That's when the really serious stuff starts, is at those really, really big 12,000 feet plus altitudes. I don't want you to have a lot of anxiety surrounding altitude sickness. Couple things to help put your mind at ease. Number one is the first night, you're going to be sleeping at some altitude for most of you. Sleeping in Bozeman, I think we're around 6,000 or 7,000 feet. Regardless, you're at altitude in Bozeman. And so that kind of helps your body acclimate. You who are coming in the night before, that's really, really going to be helpful. Number two is a lot of altitude sickness is linked to gaining altitude too quickly. That is not going to be a problem for us. We're a bigger group, and so we're going to have a nice, steady pace. Very rare for a group our size to gain altitude so quickly that a lot of people will get sick. One really important tip is to make sure that you are very well hydrated. So your guides, even at orientation, we will have some electrolyte packets there. We'll remind you while we're going through orientation, start sipping on some electrolytes, start sipping on that water. Especially a lot of you are going to be flying, and flying tends to dehydrate you, just travel in general. You're not drinking as much. So we will help as soon as we get with you in orientation. Your guides, they're watching out for you on every single level. And so we're constantly thinking, how to help you and how to help you feel the best. So you'll hear us at orientation just remind you and be pushing fluids. Another tip, and this has worked really well in the past, if you would like, a lot of you know I'm a nurse. One of my nursing jobs is working with Bozeman IV. We are an IV infusion center, and so we give people vitamin infusions, we give them fluids, and so I can come give you an IV infusion. If you show up early enough, then we can coordinate a time where I can come to you in your hotel room. We could even hook you up at orientation, and you can get a whole liter of fluid. And we even have a drip that has a bunch of vitamins in it that have been shown to help with altitude sickness. And so it's literally called an altitude sickness drip. So if you would like more information, I'm going to put some information on the Trello board, but that is open to all of you ladies, and something that past clients have taken advantage of and have really liked, and it just kind of sets them off on the right foot. They're very well hydrated. They are filled up with vitamins. Their bodies are kind of replenished after a stressful, traveling day or two. And so that's something that I want to extend to you ladies as well.